Welcome to Module 6. Module 6 is about the uppermost two layers of our network software. Those are transport layer and application layer. As we have seen, in case of OSI reference model, actually we have four different layers in the upper level, right? Yeah, transport, session, presentation and applications are there. In case of TCP IP, we have only transport and application. So in case of TCP IP, all the functions of this session and presentation layers are actually implemented as part of this application layer. So we have to focus on these two layers, those are transport and application. And within this transport layer, we have to go through different functionalities performed by this transport layer and the two protocols for implementing this transport layer. In case of internet also, we have to focus. Then in application layer, we have to go through all the protocols to implement these different application services, and finally we'll have an introduction to World Wide Web. Now coming to the details of transport layer, as you remember, transport layer present only in the end systems, right? In between the sender and receiver, we have a very large subnet. This part is actually representing the entire subnet. Okay, subnet in the sense every routers which are interconnected, right? It can be the routers from different national ISPs, then regional ISPs, then local ISPs. Everything together forms a very large subnet, right? Yeah, so every router will have these three layers. So we can represent the entire subnet using this three layers of this router. And suppose our source machine is actually part of a local area network. So definitely different machines in this local area network will be connected using a bridge or layer 2 switch, right? And like that, our destination machine also is a part of a local area network. So this local area network will be connected to this subnet with the help of some router, right? Yeah. So let us call those routers are actually edge router. And this edge router also will be part of this subnet. So here one edge router will be there to connect our sender's network, and also another edge router will be here to connect our destination's local area network to the subnet. Yeah, so we can see that the end machines contains all the layers of this network software, whereas in between this interconnecting devices will have only few layers depending on the type of device. So in case of bridge and all, we have only two layers, right? Now, as you remember, this network layer is actually responsible for end-to-end delivery, right? End-to-end delivery means from the sender machine to receiver machine, this network layer is capable of forwarding the data packets, right? Then why we need an extra layer to do the same function? Yeah, transport layer is also for this end-to-end delivery, right? Yeah, there's a main difference is that actual communication is not between two different machines but between two different processes, right? Yeah, actually we are communicating between two different application processes. Just for example, if you are surfing the internet, at the client side, at the sender side, we have a browser process, right? Yeah, from that browser process we are communicating to some server process, maybe a Google server process. Yeah, actual communication is between two different specific processes, not between two just machines, right? Yeah, so the duty of this transport layer is to provide this end-to-end communication between two different processes. Okay, identify the sender process and finding out the receiver process, and communication between these two is done by this transport layer. And the ultimate goal of this transport layer is to provide reliable, efficient and cost-effective data transport from the source machine to the destination machine. Of course, to the process in the application layer of this sender machine, to the process in the application layer of the destination machine, right? Yeah, and it provides in a reliable, cost-effective manner. How? Yeah, definitely. The reason is to such a close is that this how this transport layer actually provide the service by taking the service of the network layer. Yeah, right. Yeah, every layer is designed in such a way that it provides some services to the upper layer by taking the services provided by the lower layer. Here all the same thing happens. The transport layer provides service to the application layer by taking the service provided by this network layer. What's the service provided by the network layer? Yeah, routing every packet from the sending host to the destination host, right? Through the NDA subnet, routing is the responsibility of this network layer, right? Yeah, the routers which contains this network layer. Yeah, definitely especially in the case of internet and all, packets may be lost due to lot of reasons like congestion may be there, some routers may be failed in between, or some errors may be introduced into these packets due to, especially in the case of wireless networks, a lot of noises will be introduced into network, right? So lot of issue due to lot of other reasons, these packets may be lost in between, so the network service provided may be unreliable. But if the requirement of the user is reliable delivery, maybe some application like file transfer and all, definitely that data transfer should be reliable, right? Now it's the responsibility of this transport layer to provide such a reliable delivery. So if you compare this transport layer with that of network layer, the main difference is where the control of this particular layer functionalities. Just for example, in case of transport layer, we can configure, the user can configure the communication nature, right? Yeah, using socket programming, we can write how this communication should be done, whether it can be connection oriented or connectionless, which port number in the client side can be used. Such things we can configure using this socket programming, right? But what about the network layer functionalities? The routing and all is done by the routers itself, right? We don't have any control over the subnet functionalities or subnet working. In between, routers may be failed, congestion can be there. So things we can't control by a user program, right? Yeah, that's the main difference between this transport and network layer. So the requirement of the user can be configured in the transport level or transport layer using this socket programming. Okay, so this transport layer makes use of the service provided by the network layer, and the hardware or software within this transport layer which perform this service of transport layer service, those are called actually transport entity. Okay, so we can see the transport entity here. So transport entity takes data from the user process and provide it to the network layer. So the network layer will route the entire message from the sender machine to the destination machine, and from there the transport entity in the receiver machine will take over the charge, and then it will provide the corresponding message to the corresponding process within the application layer. Different process can be there in this application layer, right? Yeah. So corresponding process that will be delivered by the transport entity. So actual communication is through the network, and virtual communication is between the corresponding transport entities. And the message communicated between two different transport entities, we can call it as the transport protocol data unit. So the actual communication between this transport entity of the sending machine and the destination machine, that communication is done with the help of four different addresses, two pairs of addresses. Those are the port number or the port address of the corresponding application within this sender machine, together with the IP address of the sender machine, plus the port number or the port address of the destination process, plus the IP address of the destination machine. So these four items together forms the address of the entire communication, right? That is the source IP, source port number, destination IP, destination port number. These four together forms the communication. Now where these transport entities are actually implemented. We have already seen that physical layer, most of the functionalities are actually implemented in hardware itself, right? Yeah, inside the network interface card, there can be circuits for encoding, decoding, everything will be there. Okay, and some part of the physical layer will be implemented in device driver. And the detailing layer also, some part of the detailing layer functionalities will be implemented in hardware itself, this NIC itself. And when we install the device driver for this NIC, some part of this device functionalities will be there in the device driver. Just for example, as we have seen, the detailing layer is actually divided into two parts, right? MAC sublayer, and that is access control and all. That will be the lower sublayer, and upper sublayer we have the logical link control. So MAC sublayer usually implemented in hardware or firmware, or it may be part of the device driver. Whereas the logical link control functionalities, like error control, flow control, everything will be as part of this kernel of the OS. And the network layer and transport layer, those are completely implemented in software. And the application layer functionalities are actually part of this applications itself. For each and every application, the corresponding application layer functionalities will be integrated into that application itself. So it's the duty of the application programmer to write the corresponding functionalities. Now let us see how this application data actually passes through different layers in a machine. So we have the data generated from a user application. Just for example, if you are doing some web activities, we have and suppose we are using this HTTP protocol, the actual user data will be this HTTP data, and this application layer will include its own header. Here it is HTTP header, and this entire message will be handed over to transport layer, where this HTTP data plus header will be treated as the payload part or data part for the transport layer, and the transport layer will add its own header to identify the port number of this particular application process. Okay, and this header, extra information also will be there in the TCP header. We will see what are the different information required in the TCP header later, and this will be passed over to the network layer. Okay, so here the TCP header plus data will be treated as the data part in the case of network layer. Network will add its own header. We are seeing what are the different parts of this IP header, right? And to identify the host machine mainly. And this will be handed over to the data link layer. There its own MAC header will be added to identify the MAC address of this machine, right? And this will be handed out to the physical layer for actual transmission. So actual user data is this blue colored part, right? And the remaining all is actually extra information to deliver and process this data correctly. Now the different services provided by the transport layer, just like in the case of network layer, here also transport layer also provide two different types of services: connection-less service and connection-oriented service. In case of connection-less service, the functionality of this transport layer is to provide an end-to-end packet delivery. In the case of connection-oriented service, a lot of other functionalities also should be done by this transport layer. Actually, this connection-oriented service is used for applications where reliability is the main issue, right? Main requirement. In such case, to ensure such a reliable in-order delivery of different packets to the destination, lot of other functionalities also done by this transport layer, which are connection establishment, reliable data delivery, flow and congestion control, ordered packet delivery. So all these functionalities are also performed by this transport layer, and the corresponding protocol used in internet for these connectionless services UDP and connection oriented services TCP. And whatever may be the service provided by this transport layer, it should be use the service provided by this network, which can be unreliable, right? There comes the significance of this TCP. So if the application required a reliable delivery, it's a duty of this transport layer to provide such a reliable communication. We will see these functionalities in detail in the next sessions. Thank you.